Hey guys, welcome to episode 43 of the Mile 20 podcast where epic shit happens. I am Laura and I am here with my bestie,
Lorri.
and we're also here with
Maggie. Hello.
Yay. We love having our girls join us. The reason why Maggie is here today, other than she's absolutely spectacular and we love having you here every week, whether it's in front of the camera or behind the camera, is we are talking about the Philadelphia Marathon, which we actually ran yesterday. And we're still feeling it.
Yep.
Very much so.
Yes, very, very much so. But very, very excited to talk about Philly. It's very, very raw and very, very, very relevant. But before we jump in, we just want to remind you, check us out on our socials. We post pictures every week on Instagram as well as Facebook. And, just check out, pictures that relate to the stories that we tell every week because we do take pictures throughout our journeys. So this week, as far as epic week, what have you guys been up to before we jump into our beverage of the week, which is pretty weak right now?
Yes, our water.
Our water. Yeah, yes. So let's just get on with that. We're all drinking water today, and we'll explain why as we get into the story behind yesterday.
I think pretty much our epic week revolved around the whole Philadelphia running weekend experience.
You guys were running all week long.
Yeah, on Thursday. So our family is a big fan of Wicked.
Yes, we love Wicked.
Yes. And Ella had asked, after the first one, she's like, Mom, please, can we get tickets on opening day and do the double feature? And I was like, absolutely. So the day that the tickets went on sale for Wicked for Good, I bought the double feature tickets. So it started at 11 a.m. on Thursday. And we saw the first Wicked, which then went into the second Wicked for Good that started at 2 p.m. So we were one of the very first people who got to view.
Was there a little intermission between the two movies? Like you could get up or did it start right into the next movie?
Yeah, it was probably a 15-minute intermission, which was a good amount of time. Bathroom break, get some food, get a drink. But it was definitely a marathon in itself. And I wish I had watched the second one just in itself, because I was exhausted by the time we got to it. And then you're comparing it directly to what you had just watched. And the first one is just a lot more upbeat, which is not to say that the second one was bad. It's just very different because it's a lot heavier content.
Yeah, it's a little darker.
Okay.
And heavier because it really, the whole build from the first half is the conclusion of that.
Yeah, no, it totally is. We're actually set to see it tomorrow in King of Prussia. So and we're only seeing the second movie. So
I wish I could just see that one scene over again.
Oh yeah, the theater went wild when
okay, let's not share because I have not seen it.
Well, it's the song As Long As You're Mine.
Yeah, it's just the song As Long As You're Mine.
Oh, okay.
When that song comes on, savor it.
Okay.
It's like a fine wine.
I mean, I've seen the play on Broadway, so I mean, nothing is a surprise, but yeah, I just don't know what they've added to the movie and stuff. So okay, no, that'll be fun to see it. Yeah, I can't believe you guys sat through that many hours of the movie, but more power to you. But definitely a marathon.
Yes.
And then otherwise, all we did was running stuff. So we went to Packet Pickup on Friday night at around 6:30-ish p.m. It also seemed to be a shit show, which was shocking.
Well, I don't know if people were thinking that they could pick up their half marathon packets early, whether they had signed up appropriately or not.
Oh.
There was a huge line.
And by huge, she means literally around the entirety of the convention center. The tail end of the line was almost to the entrance.
Oh, wow.
It was three block lengths long because it went down one side of the convention center, the back side, the front side, and wrapped a little bit around. So it was 3 1/4.
So how long did it take you guys to get through the line?
Well, Maggie told me to meet her one location, and I thought she meant another location. So I went to the entrance doors, thinking she was just on that first block of the line.
Yeah.
While I was standing there, they were saying half marathon, stay in line. We are taking 8K marathon and challengers only for bib pickup right now.
That's us.
And that was us. So I called Maggie. I'm like, Maggie, they're letting us in. We don't have to wait in this line. So get your ass over here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we went right in, picked up our bib.
I bet it's
it
because
was
there
no
were so many
problems.
more half marathoners that were running, I bet.
Yeah, but they had just like Marine Corps where you were to pick, and it was this, it felt like the exact same software, you know, where we signed up for Marine Corps.
Where you
for
went
the
in
time
and
slots.
then they told you what
you pick your date, you picked an hour, and then you could pick the quarter out, you know, the
But was
15.
it the same as Marine Corps when you went in and they scanned your QR code and then they
No.
told you what table to go to?
No, because nobody scanned a QR. We had QR codes. They
Okay.
told you to bring them, but
Yeah.
nobody scanned them.
Okay.
They just needed your name and your driver's license.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't realize that the line was that long.
Yeah,
I've
so
never
I don't
seen
know
that for the
what the
Philadelphia Marathon at all.
I have no idea what the half marathon perspective is on that. I'd
Yeah.
be curious to know. So
Wow.
if anybody did participate in the half marathon, please comment because I would love to hear what your experience was like.
Yeah, because the half marathon was on Saturday morning at what, 7:30?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. And then after that, you guys ran the 8K, which started at around 11
a.m.
11 a.m. And then Sunday was the full marathon.
And what I started to say earlier was that the cool thing about the Philadelphia Marathon weekend, they do a fantastic job of combining events for these really cool challenges. So like there's a challenge to do the half marathon 8K. There's a challenge to do the half marathon 8K full or the 8K in the full. And you get all these extra medals. So it's kind of cool if you really want to challenge yourself beyond just one distance, that they have all these extra things you can sign up for with extra medals and extra gear. It's just cool.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's like, and I don't know when they started doing that, but it's relatively like newer, the past couple of years that they have the challenges, because those never existed like back in the day.
No,
when
I
we
think,
first started doing the marathon.
I think
here.
they started them hardcore when they finally split the half marathon from the full.
Yeah.
And moved the half marathon to Saturday. I think it made it easier for that to happen.
I was mixed about that when they first did it, because if the weather was kind of yuck, you know, on marathon day, it really didn't get a really good crowd. You felt like the crowds were not as thick. I tell you what, the crowd on Sunday was insane at the marathon. Top notch. That's probably like that's what, your fifth time, my sixth time running it. So we're not rookies to the Philly Marathon, but that is probably like one of the best crowds I've experienced for the Philly Marathon.
I do feel like that's one very positive thing that like the running influencers, quote unquote, have brought to the running community, is just like more attention for even like spectators to go and observe, because people post videos of them just spectating marathons now. So they make even that look like a lot of fun. So I feel like that's why, I mean, at least me and others are seeing larger crowds generally. I mean, you guys have comparison points, but I think that's probably a big factor there.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, I can see that. Although circling onto the influencer thing just a little.
Oh.
If you
this disturbed me.
No,
terribly. Are you gonna talk about New York?
Oh gosh, no, but we should mention New York. I just learned from Maggie that they had a corral of social media influencers that ran the marathon before the elites. That's such bullshit.
That's
bullshit.
That kind of blew my mind. So
I feel like it doesn't make sense for the elites to have to run around people at all. Like
ever.
That's the purpose of them being an elite.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I didn't. I didn't get that. So yeah. If it means for some of these marathons to keep the attention on the sport and keep, I mean, because you and I, Lorri, when we were in the corral with Maggie, we were looking around and we were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like we were like the two old chicks like in the corral. But maybe it was because of the corral we were into.
We're tipping that scale now.
We are tipping that scale.
We are tipping
like we were like, wow,
side.
like the average age was probably like late 20s, early 30s around us.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Easy.
We think you pointed out, you're like, oh wait, there's one woman that's probably around our age, and
And
there's
one guy.
So yeah, that was,
No, what I was thinking about more was like, I feel like a lot of the running influencers, with good reason, they're badass runners. They're super fast. A lot of them are super pretty and cute and all of that. And I get that. More power to you. I think that when it translates to just some other normal people, it doesn't translate as well. Like, you see a lot of people wearing short shorts. And I think if you're an elite and you're going super fast, that's great. But if you have like a different body style, that's maybe a little bit a bigger
more
boned,
normal,
more normal, more normal, or an average body type, this is not practical. Like, it's important for you to know that if you are running a marathon, you should be wearing tights or at least compression something underneath your short shorts, because we've seen over the last several weeks bloody thighs, like really bad bloody thighs.
Like somebody took
Raw.
a Brillo pad and rubbed it in between both of a woman's thighs, and just like blood dripping down her legs because of not wearing the right gear. And,
Yes.
Or knowing that like she had to like wear Body Glide, and we pointed out to each other, and this isn't us going and being overly critical of other people. It's just like, oh, like, and we saw the one girl, we were like, oh, that's going to hurt in probably like the next like 5 miles.
Yeah.
Just because of the clothing that, that somebody chose to wear. So it is important.
It's not that I really am not trying to
No,
judge.
we're
but
not judging.
67.
Yeah. 6'7".
67 marathons.
67 marathons. Yeah.
67 marathons comes with a small amount of wisdom, just small.
Yeah.
And trial and error, and we've been there and we've done a lot. And
still make mistakes sometimes on our own gear. I
mean, we've done stupid shit when we were younger too.
Yeah, I mean, so just to get back to the weekend. Yeah,
I'm chafed now.
Right?
Speaking of it,
right?
I'm chafed now because I decided to wear a stupid pair of Eagles. Never chafing myself again.
Yeah.
For the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because they lost to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I wore a pair of tights I'd never worn on a long run before because they were Eagles and I wanted to be Eagles themed because it was game day. And I chafed the hell out of myself.
Yeah.
So I was dumb. I mean, it still happens today.
It does. I mean, I ran into the same thing because just going back to like what we did over the weekend. So the whole reason why I didn't go with Lorri and Maggie to the packet pickup is because Friday. No, it's Friday. My husband and I, with our daughter and our son-in-law, flew out to Michigan to go to my mother-in-law's funeral service. So she had passed away in September, and the family decided to have a funeral service back where they originally lived. And so, which just happened to be this weekend. So we flew out on Friday, which was wonderful, like spending time with the whole family on Friday. We just had dinner at like Buffalo Wild Wings, and
getting together.
But it was
special.
more about like just mingling around and all reconnecting and stuff. And then Saturday, early, we all went to the church, and just all the family came in. And then I don't know, about 2:30, Jim and I and Maddie and Matthew hopped back in the car, and he drove us back to the Detroit airport. So it was about like a 2.5 hour drive.
Oh wow!
One way. Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that far.
Because they're in
from
Saginaw,
the
Michigan. Yeah, and so I was at my mother-in-law's funeral service on Saturday, but we got to the Detroit airport, and then our flight kept getting delayed like an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, mother have mercy, like, because I was already getting in like after 8 o'clock. So fortunately, I got to the hotel, I think before 10.
Yeah. You were
and
there.
Yeah, maybe like 9:30 or so. Yeah. But that's the whole reason why I didn't experience the packet pickup with you guys.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you didn't miss much.
No.
no. And as a matter of fact, we were scheduled for a 6:15 pickup. Traffic was shit on the Schuylkill Expressway. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
It always is. And so we did not get in until like 6:40. I had 7:15 reservations for Maggie, DJ, and Mari for us all to have dinner together at Italian, but not pizza. We did La Scala's Fire in Center City. It was delicious. But we had 7:15 reservations. So we got there at like 6:40. I had to park, get inside. We picked up our bibs.
Did you make the reservation?
We were only 5 minutes late.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we sped walked, practically ran to the reservation because that was like on 7th and Chestnut, I think.
Oh, that's a good walk too.
Yes, it was.
Ooh.
It was like, it said it was a 15-minute walk. We made it in like 10.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, but they had a lot of really great gear, pricey, but there was some stuff that looked cool, but
I always like the Philly Marathon Expo.
Yeah.
Like that expo is always really solid with a lot of vendors and stuff. Is that what you
I
guys?
got a lovely glass, very similar to the one that I'm holding up on camera that Laura has, just a typical pint glass. And it immediately broke later that night next day when we got to the hotel. It fell out of the car and it just shattered. And I was like, okay, well, never got to use that one.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
I actually got some of their bib clips. I bought a set of those because I'd forgotten that I packed the wrong thing and I didn't grab.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to try them. So I got some bib clips and they worked out really well.
Oh, I didn't even know you used them on yesterday.
I used them yesterday.
You used them on. Oh wait, we ran yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. And I got a Christmas ornament, which I don't even know what I did with that, but it's somewhere.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
DJ and Mari were very gracious hosts. We had a blow up bed in their living room that deflated around 2 a.m.
And that was Friday night, right?
Yeah, they live in Old City, so they were kind of far from the start line. It's not like an easy to get to, but it's way closer. It was like a 10-minute, maybe 5-minute drop off from their apartment versus like the 45-minute drive in from our house. So it was just nice to be able to stay in the city. But when we made these plans, we just assumed the 8K was in the morning. I totally forgot that it's the half marathon at 7 a.m. So I'm like, wait a minute. We don't run until like 11 a.m.
It was so nice. For any casual runners out there that are wanting to like dip their toe in something larger than a 5K, the 8K was so nice and easy. We got breakfast in the morning. We had coffee. We made our way there at like 10:15 maybe. No porta potty line. The porta potty still had toilet paper. We walked on up to the start and we just started a
Now,
quick
how many
out
people
and
do you
back.
think ran the 8K?
There was a good amount.
There was a lot.
Okay.
I don't think I could estimate, but there was a lot of kids. It was very kid friendly.
Oh, cool.
I would say between like 8 and like 15-year-olds, we saw a ton of kids around that age with the Students Run Philly group.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was honestly a great vibe.
Actually, I had a moment I really loved as we were kind of coming back. We were on the back half. We were approaching that little hill. There's a little hill. The finish is the same for almost all the races.
It's by the Art Museum in Philadelphia.
You come around Boathouse Road. There's a little up to get to the Art Museum, and then you come down the Parkway.
That's like actually worse than the Marine Corps Marathon, by the way, I think.
No.
Oh,
I
yes,
agree.
it is.
I agree.
Thank you.
That's
It
insane.
is.
I
totally
agree
is.
because it's
longer.
much more gradual.
Yes, it's long and it's longer. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a kid. How old would you say he was?
12, 13.
So, and he was struggling. Like his whole demeanor, like he was hunched, his head was down, and he was just like, and I kind of slowed down and I just said, I tapped him a little just to get his attention, and I went chin up, chest out. I'm like, breathe in your nose and out your mouth. I'm like, relax, you've got this, just keep going, and so like he kind of picked it up, and then towards like I would say like 2 minutes later, because we were approaching the finish, he
was
flies
like sprinting
by
in
me.
there.
He was, and I was like, I actually kind of started picking up the pace with him, and I was running. I'm like, that's right, go on. And
that's
it was
awesome.
It was really cute. It was just cute to see all those kids running.
Yeah, he was smiling from ear to ear at the finish, which was really
fantastic.
cute. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great. Mom and I don't know what we were doing, but we ran.
We were on crack.
We ran like a 10:30 pace.
I know, I saw that. I was like, oh, and they're running the marathon tomorrow.
We were like booking it, and then the 11-minute pacer was coming up behind us. She's like, all right, okay, and she kept laughing, and her laugh was like,
It was this infectious, weird, malicious sounding laugh.
But like that just was her laugh, and she kept going. So it was cracking us up. And Mom was like, should we let them pass? And I was like, no.
And I'm like, is that a smart decision to be making the day before the marathon where you're wanting to go for time?
No. But we beat her. And we both, I think, like PR'd. Got a lot of Strava medals.
There was a lot of Strava medals. Circling back briefly to the influencer things. Again, I think that there's a lot of people that are wearing pink. Pink is like a hot topic right now.
Oh, like that's all I see on the course. And matching tops and bottoms. Like that's a new thing now. Like, I mean.
Well, the matching, I mean, we match. So like.
No.
Like
same color. Monochromatic.
Monochromatics, yes.
Blue top, blue bottom, pink top, pink bottom, red top, red bottom.
Which again, like back in the day when I cared, I like to look cute in races too. I had the floofy skirts and all of that. However,
I always wore floofy skirts, girl.
I've always worn compression pants underneath. There have been a few times I have in my late marathoning career here, I have dipped into wearing some white shorts, but usually I do not.
Yeah.
But there was a girl in light pink during the 8K, and I would say she was maybe at the 2 mile mark.
Is this the one that shit herself?
We were coming in. It was at the end. It was like 4 mile mark. It was at the end.
It wasn't that close to the end.
We were heading back though.
Yes, we were. But I saw that girl because she was my tag, actually. I didn't tell you this, but when we were at the turnaround, she wasn't that far ahead of us at the turnaround. I had tagged her already. So when we came up on her.
Wait. Explain to our listeners what it means when you tag somebody.
Okay. I am not a competitive runner by any stretch. I have zero skill. However, there are times where, like we've explained in the past in previous episodes, where we'll see somebody and we'll be like, I'm going to beat that person. This is the person I've decided is not finishing before me. So I had already decided that this person was not finishing before me.
And we have no idea when that person like started the race. So technically they could still be beating us if we beat them physically, but it's like, it's just mentally like, you pick a person to go and push yourself.
Yes.
And so this was your person.
And it becomes a game. Sometimes you need a mental game to play you're running these distances.
You absolutely do.
While you're out there.
Yep.
So I would say I saw her. We definitely passed her before mile 3, honey. I think it was sooner than you think. Anyway, doesn't matter. As we were approaching light pink compression shorts, at least she was wearing compression shorts, she had a brown stain on the back. Her.
That's unfortunate.
Like all the way down past the shorts, so it was probably like rubbing a little too. It couldn't have been comfortable.
It was dripping down. She had an accident. Yeah,
and that's unfortunate because as a runner, sometimes you get gastro issues.
Yes,
and I know I've had that many a time.
Yes,
and you'll see actually spectators along a course. And they'll have signs that say "Don't trust the fart," right?
Yes,
and that's for real.
Real.
Like you get all gurgly. You eat these gels that are very disruptive to your digestive system, and they could cause gas. And sometimes when you fart, you can actually shart yourself.
I thought I sharted myself yesterday.
You did because you were like, "Oh, I trusted that one."
I trusted one, and the smell lingered. Where I was like, "Oh my god, did I just poop myself?" And I luckily hadn't, But I did immediately after the marathon ended. I made my way to a porta potty.
Just to check.
No, I went to the bathroom because I was like holding it. And I was like, I'm going to be 5 hours. I can't. Like every porta potty that I passed, I was like, and I was like, just keep going.
Oh, that's, yeah. I mean, so I feel bad for her because that probably could have been the situation where she trusted the fart and she probably shouldn't have.
Oh, there was a time yesterday too when we were in Manayunk and I said, I have to stop.
Yeah.
And I went into the bathroom because I wasn't sure. And thank God I stopped and didn't trust the fart because otherwise I would have blown myself out. But here's the learning piece of this whole thing. Wear black.
Black pants, dark pants. They are the best pants to like color to wear.
Yeah. And or it's okay to have an extra article of clothing to tie around your waist. Like it was a cold start. You shouldn't be in a tank top and compression shorts alone. And sometimes the wind picks up and it gets cooler. Matter of fact, we got cold like later on in the race.
Yeah. And it was weird because just by the weather apps, it was showing that it was going to be maybe a high of 51 and continuing to increase. But I think because of how the wind is really weird on the back end of the Philly Marathon too. Once you hit the portion that is Kelly Drive, so it's roughly from like mile 15 through like you're out to 15 to 20, you do a turnaround at 20 and come back, to the art museum. That wind on the Schuylkill River and along Kelly Drive is so bizarre because like we hit a headwind both directions.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And we're on the same fucking road the entire time. And like, I don't know what it was yesterday, but I was like, I hate this road. Like, I really hate this road.
Highway to Hell came on and my headphones on it. And I was like, this feels right now. Like going back, I was like, this sucks.
It's just quiet. So I did see a social media person out there that was like, what if, hear me out, they reverse the course and you started on Kelly and you hit all that you have the quiet in the beginning, it helps you settle in, and then you have all that excitement in the city at the end.
Oh, that's interesting.
When you hit, basically you'd still have like a really...
They probably wouldn't do that though because they'd have to keep the roads closed for that much longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they never would because you
tie up the entire downtown of Philadelphia in the beginning of this race, like all day. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got to open it up.
But that would be interesting.
But in theory, and then they're like, and then like after, like that whole university city becomes a downhill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you'd have to go up to it from the zoo.
That's true. But even still, you're still going up anyway. And you still have to get up into Fairmount Park near Memorial Hall and the Please Touch Museum and stuff.
Now the one thing, like just starting out with the race and like the logistics. So for the Philadelphia Marathon, you do need to go through security gates. For those who are watching on YouTube, I don't know what's going on tonight, but my dog is like freaking psychotic. She joins us for a lot of our podcasts, and I have can you call it my grandpup?
Yes.
My daughter and my son-in-law's dog, and the two of them have just been psychotic all day long today. So I apologize for those on YouTube, and if you kind of hear me, kind of rattle the jingling, it is the dog that is with us. But the Philadelphia Marathon does require you to go through security gates, and they make you go through a metal detector. And it's very cordoned off between where the runners can go and where the spectators can go. So as a runner, they implemented this, after the Boston Marathon, after the Boston bombing many, many years ago. But as a runner, I feel always very, very secure when I get into the corrals for Philly. And, the key there is they do have a lot of security gates now. We didn't have any issues. We kind of hit the security gates right along Avenue of the Americas, and they had a couple of them stationed. But man, there was one that when you're looking at the art museum, if you go to the far left and just keep walking your ass all the way forward, right towards the art museum, there is one security gate that is way up there, and there was nobody going through it. Like you didn't even know that it was there.
No, it would have been nice to have used.
So next year, because we did sign up for 2026 already.
Yes, of course. Hometown race.
I will remember that security gate.
Now, it's also important to note. So there are rules about what you can and cannot bring. They were very serious about people emptying their bladders. So if you're like Maddie you wear a hydration vest, they will not let you through security with water or anything in your vest. It has to be 100% empty. They were very serious about that. And it's important to note to add time. It seemed like a lot of people struggled to get into the corrals on time because of the Porta-John lines. There was also a very long line to refill your hydration bladder at the water. They do provide water for you to refill inside the security, but the line was long for that too.
The line was really long for that. And just going back to the Porta-Johns, we actually, before we went into security, there were a nice line of Porta-Johns that were available, and not a line of people, but a quantity of Porta-Johns. And the three of us made the call, hey, let's hit this Porta-John, because the lines weren't bad, like at all.
Non-existent.
Like non-existent.
There's a green Porta-John. We go, let's
and
go
they
right
were
there.
fresh, and they had like toilet paper in them.
Yes.
And then we went through security, and the lines were obscene once you got past security.
Yeah, so I feel like this is the opposite of Marine Corps.
Totally the opposite.
So they don't check your bags when you go through security. So it's literally a constant moving line where unless there's an issue, you're just flowing. Like there was no real security line. That was easy peasy, straight through. The bathrooms were definitely a sticking point. So this would be one that I would suggest using the bathrooms outside of security and then going through security. We did not... We were right there at the peak hour. We stayed in the Navy Yard because the hotels were absolutely obscene.
Very, very
in Philadelphia.
expensive. There was also a convention for like gamers, not video games, but actually board games, which apparently is like one of the biggest ones in the country, because my daughter and my son-in-law and a couple of their friends went to it. So that really jacked up the price. And then also it was the first weekend that the Christmas Village that is in Love Park opened up as well.
Yes.
So the trifecta of all of that. A normal hotel that we stay at, which is the Notary, which maybe like on a normal marathon weekend is maybe $250. It was like $700-800.
Yeah, it was
for
obscene.
the night. It was crazy, but hotels were sold out too.
Yeah,
I mean, they were selling out.
Yeah, so we stayed out by the whole
stadiums.
The stadiums. So we had about a little less than a 15-minute drive in. I had already reserved us a parking spot that worked out really well on Spot Hero. Spot Hero.
Yep.
I highly encourage that if you are driving in from any particular point, is going ahead and reserving a spot.
Yeah, line up your parking ahead of time.
I mean, it was so easy. We left.
It's like on Arch Street.
Wouldn't you say we left the hotel at like 6:10?
Yeah.
No, it was like right around 6 because we got to the parking lot at 6:15.
Okay. I thought we were a little late leaving. Oh no, we were going to leave at 5:40.
Yeah.
Yes.
We left late.
Yes.
It was at 6.
Yes, we left at 6.
So
with the 7 a.m. start for the race.
Yeah, so I was a little stressed.
Yeah.
I was a little stressed leaving the hotel because we were a little late.
Yeah, we might have been burning through some red lights.
Yeah, well, maybe just a little. But they were stupid red lights.
Yeah.
You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, where there's no other cars around and it's 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning.
And you're literally just sitting there by yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. So it was really easy.
Go.
So we were running late. Like I would have assumed we were going to hit traffic. I was going to assume we were going to have security lines. Like I was nervous because I feel
and we didn't know what roads were going to be closed down either.
Right. And I felt like we were like in that peak arrival time. So it was no problem to park. We walked. We found Porta-Johns, no problem. Got right through security. Walked right to the corral and entered and waited. Like it felt remarkably easy.
It was, knock on wood. It really was.
I feel like Philly is just well organized.
Yeah, no, it really was. And then because it was very cold out although it was not the coldest that we've ever experienced. No. Thank goodness.
I could still feel my toes.
Yeah, it was maybe like 34, 35 degrees, but it was a warmer 34, 35. Still cold. I mean, you could see your breath and whatnot, but we wore our shark onesies. So I bought a couple of extra of these onesies that I had gotten on Amazon because they were like $8.99, like for an entire onesie.
Yeah.
Which normally we spend $15 to $20 on a onesie. So I was like, when I saw the $8.99, I'm like, I just bought a bunch of them, you know? Right. So we had some extra for this race. So we wore the onesies, but Maggie, you took your onesie off before the race started.
Yeah.
Because you were going for a time.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop. I knew DJ was going to be around mile 2, so I didn't want to have to stop so soon. So I just took it off, and it was like manageable. And I was in a tank top and long sleeve. The long sleeve I wore until mile 20 when I could drop it with my family and Connor. So yeah, it was chilly, but definitely manageable. I didn't have a hat or gloves, which maybe I could have used, but I didn't think I needed necessarily.
So I had a hat over my visor. I had gloves. I had hand warmers. I even wore an Under Armour shirt underneath my Eagles shirt because your mom and I both wore our Eagles gear because of the game. I did not wear Eagles pants. But I had like cold weather tights on too, which I was happy about wearing those.
I felt like I got fucked by the Eagles twice yesterday.
You did, man.
Sorry.
That's so bad.
Wait, I feel like you have to explain. Well, we talked about chafing.
Yeah, it was the chafing.
It was the chafing pants. Yes, and because they were Eagles pants.
And then the Cowboys. Come on.
Yeah. But at
Kevin
some point in
Patullo.
time, it was between mile like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It's when we came off of Delaware Avenue, and we had already taken off our onesies when we saw DJ. And so that way he took our onesies. So now we still have them again for another race, which is always nice when we can recycle them.
Yeah.
But I was still wearing my Under Armour and then my quarter zip. And I'm like, Lorri, I got to take off the Under Armour. So we stopped.
You were sweating balls at 1.5 miles.
Oh my God. Like seriously, like, so we pulled over on the side of the road and she's like, do you want to go behind a tree? I'm like, no. So I'm like, just in my sports bra, taking off my Under Armour shirt, put back on my other shirt. I'm like, screw that. I don't care.
Yeah.
People probably like, look at the old lady taking off her clothes in the middle of the race. But I was very comfortable then when I had, the Under Armour tied around my waist and then just had the light quarter zip.
Yeah.
So it's really important to remember that when you're running, whatever the ambient temperature is outside, you have to plan for like 20 degrees warmer than because that's what you're actually going to be feeling as you're exercising and doing the activity. So while it may be at the time when I took that Under Armour shirt off, it might have been in the 40s. It actually felt like it was in the 60s, maybe 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's just an important thing to note. But I did go and keep the Under Armour with me because, if it had gotten cooler out later on in the race, and I probably could have put it back on, when later on, because it did get chilly, on Kelly Drive. I didn't, but it definitely was a factor.
Yeah, I never stripped my outer layer. I had a
tank top,
Eagles tank top, and then I had an Eagles kind of light long sleeve shirt, just tech shirt, and never stripped.
Yeah.
And I was expecting to, and it just never happened. I just never felt that warm, I guess.
Yeah. Now, right from the get-go, Maggie, because in prior races, you've started out with us and then you go on your way. Like this race, you straight up, you didn't have a specific time in mind other than you wanted to PR. And your last, I think your fastest one was 5:30, 5:32, right? So how did you end up yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I always, and Mom is always like, no, don't worry about us. But if I start with you guys, then I just feel like I need to be with you. And obviously that's more just my.
And it's social too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always just hard to break off when I start with you. So right when we started, I just went.
And we were like, good luck, good race, have a good race.
We said, love you. Bye.
We were like, you go run your race, girl.
Yeah, and I put my AirPods right in and I just started moving, and I feel like knowing that people were coming to watch helped. So DJ I knew was at mile 2. We did a quick high five. Then my friend Beta was at mile 8, and she lives in New York full time now. She just happened to be in town and came and said hi.
Oh, that's so neat. I didn't know that.
So I hadn't seen her in probably over a year, and we did quick hugs, and I was like, She was like, keep running. And I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, we need to catch up though. And then saw Connor, Ella, Dad, and my roommate from college, Lindsay, all were together at mile 20. And then when I saw them mile 20, they were like, you can break 5 hours. And I was like, okay. And Dad was like, run. And I was like, I'm gonna run.
And then we saw you around mile 24, maybe 23, 24. Like
I
we
think
saw you
22, 23.
Yeah, because we saw you on the back side of Kelly Drive.
Yeah, I think it wasn't 22, was it?
I think so because
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw her on the back.
Semantics.
Yeah. we saw her on the back side of Kelly Drive.
What I know is that I was so grateful you were ahead of us because the entirety of Kelly Drive until I saw you,
I know.
My whole brain was fixated on finding Maggie.
Maggie.
I'm like, thank God. And I was like, thank God.
We both were saying, I'm like, are you looking for Maggie? And she's like, yes. I was like, I'm looking for Maggie too. So like, we weren't paying attention to anything in our direction. It was like, we were just looking at every single runner going the other direction. But then after we saw you, and again, we all didn't stop. We were just like, go Maggie, right? But then after you left, we're like, oh shit, now we got to pay attention.
I'm like, I miss Maggie. Where's Maggie now?
I know.
If it's any consolation, I was doing the exact same thing. Even around Fairmont Park, I was like, where are they?
It was a good distraction, though.
Yeah, I was scanning like everyone's faces when I finally saw you. I was like, yay. But I knew I was moving pretty quickly. And in mile like 2, the 440 group passed me. And I was like, okay, like I wasn't going to be 440. And then at mile 7, the 450 group passed me. And I was like, oh no, this is too early for like these groups to be passing me. So then I was getting stressed. Like I was like, I feel like I'm keeping a good pace right now, but when is the 5 hour group coming? And it was when we were on the other side of the river. So I think it's like mile 14.
Yeah.
They came up behind me and the Pacers passed me. And so I caught up with them and I was like, what? I asked one of them, I was like, what minute mile are you running? And they were like 11:25. And I was like, oh, well, I've been running faster than that, like at certain points. So I passed them again. And I stayed in front of them until I stopped to see like Connor, Dad. That was Kona. Scratching herself. I stayed in front of them until I stopped to see everyone. And then she started coming around again. And they passed me again while
so you were
I was
surging
stopped.
back and forth with them.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I was in front of them until, again, mile 20, where then they passed me and Dad was like, that's the 5 hour. Like, you need to go. So then I passed them and I didn't see them again.
That's awesome.
So I went ahead of them, and I'm not really upset because in my heart I know that I beat 5 hours, like actually, because I feel like you always run longer than a marathon when you're running a marathon.
You do.
So my Strava time for my 26.2 was 4 hours and 57 minutes. But my official time was 5 hours and 1 minute and like some seconds, which is like whatever. I was just like bawling at the end. I was like bent over crying, and someone was like, do you need medical? And I was like, no. And they were like, you got to keep going then. And I saw DJ at the end and he was like, I'm so proud of you. Aww. And he hugged me, and then I'm just crying more. And it was just really sweet. And I was like, I'm proud of me too. And he was like, you found something after dance that like is special to you. And I wish I had something. And I was like,
oh, that is super special.
Yeah. So that was just a very wholesome moment.
That is awesome, Maggie.
Yeah. And it was a big mental feat. Like my hamstring going into it was hurting from Marine Corps. So I had taped both my hamstrings at the recommendation of Paul Manley.
You taped?
Oh, Mom taped. I'm like stomach down, butt cheeks out. Mom's taping my butt and hamstrings the night before it was bonding.
I know.
Yes,
and what was funny was when you were stretching in the corral and all of a sudden you were like, oh, I feel like I'm getting waxed because the tape was like pulling, but you're like, but it's not coming off. Like,
no, I was in the shower last night for 30 minutes just peeling it off. It was so painful.
That's so painful. That is so painful.
But yeah, it's behind me. I I was just exhausted from doing 3 in 90 days. I don't know how you guys do it, but very proud. Dropped the Madoc Marathon was a 6:47, and I went from that to a basically 5-hour marathon,
which is incredible, Maggie.
In like 75
very different
days.
very different races. Very different races, different circumstances, different variables.
Yes.
Very different.
Was very focused mentally, and I saw a sign like at the halfway point that said dig a little deeper. And then I just kept thinking that as I was going. I was like, just dig a little deeper.
That's awesome.
Dig a little deeper until I was done.
Well, talking about different races. So, Lorri, you and I had an entirely different kind of race yesterday, didn't we, my friend?
I feel like we had our typical Philly race. What are you talking about? But it's definitely different from Maggie's.
Yeah, very different than Maggie's.
But our goals are different.
Yeah, I mean, we went into it and knowing that I was coming off of a very emotional day. We had just run a marathon like 2 weeks prior. Yeah. And, we're tired,
Well, it's important to note, too, that any time that you're training for a one-off marathon or whatever, or even just running a marathon or even doing a long run, it doesn't matter. What is going on in your life matters on your performance. Like, you're not physically exerting yourself, but you had a very mentally, emotionally taxing weekend that was full of stuff. And that's a lot. It's just a lot
and
to
I didn't
carry.
feel like I didn't get to process it like long enough either because, we went to the funeral and then we had the luncheon afterward. But then that like decompression that comes down like after you're at such an emotional event, like I hopped on a plane, and that, trying to get into like a different mindset. I like watched a movie on the plane and stuff. So didn't really get to decompress.
Yeah.
So, but you started to help with the decompression because I think the first place that we saw people handing out alcohol was at mile maybe 3 or 4 down in like right outside of Old City, and they were handing out shots of Jameson.
Wait, was it South Street? Or was it before we turned on to South? Oh, it was before it was Front, was that Front Street?
That's Front Street.
Yeah, it was right before we got to South Street.
It was before South Street, yes.
Yeah.
And because it's the 4 mile something like they had like a big sign that said like the 4 mile party or something like that, and we're like, wow, we've never seen that sign before. Like they're getting fancy now.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they had shots of Jameson, which I can't stand Jameson, but you were like,
terrible.
You're like a moth to the flame, man. You were like zzz, like right over the table, and like and she's like looking at me like, and I'm like so we did that, and that we kind of had to walk that one out, man, because that one was
that burned going down.
And then we saw people over by like, I think it was more when you got to like it doesn't matter. We between mile like 4 and mile 7, we did like 4 shots. 3 shots of Fireball, and some of them were tiny. Some of them were tiny. It was like a sip.
Yeah, it was a sip.
But yeah, just people, like random people. I mean, they could be throwing anything in that shit, and we're just like, yeah, they're sure.
They had a whole handle.
The woman had a handle, and she was pouring it
Fireball,
into the cups and stuff. But yeah, no, we were just like, yes, please, And
well, it's got a 7-hour cutoff, and my goal was just to beat our last time from 2 years ago, which was a 7:09.
Yeah,
I'm like, whatever, we're doing great.
And just the 7:09, unfortunately, my daughter was very, very hurt running that marathon, and we were on the struggle bus with her and supported her to get through that one. But yeah, so then we hit the bridge going across by University City. Chris. So Chris, I'm going to give you a shout out.
Chris is the bomb.
So Chris works with me. We connected a couple weeks ago. We were on a call, and my boss happened to give a shout out like, "Oh, Laura, what race did you run this weekend?" And Chris, sent me a Teams message. It was like, "Wait, you're a runner?" And Chris is like a crazy runner. He does ultras. He's training for a 100-mile race.
That's insane.
And like competitive too, right? So like he's giving me like dissertations on like his training plan, and I'm like, I drink at mile 20. Like, that's my contribution. But like I told him about our podcast, and the next thing you know, he's like, oh my God, dude, I'm like already on episode 20. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. But Chris went and said that, you know, him and his buddy were going to be in town. I think they were supporting another friend who was running, and Chris was like, hey, I'll be on the bridge, you know, at around mile 7, and you know, we'll have a mile 20 beverage at mile 7 a little early. And man, Chris made a sign that said, you know, like mile 7, like it looked like our logo on it. And so sure enough, him and his buddy, I didn't catch his friend's name, but they were there on the bridge. And we almost we did run by him. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, I think that was Chris, because he had a hat on and stuff. We had never met in person.
Yeah.
But that was
nice guy.
Super,
Both of them.
super awesome.
Yes.
Had little fireball nips for us. Chris actually partook as well. You were crazy, because I thought she was just going to take a sip out of this little bottle.
Normally when we do the whole nip, we do the whole nip.
But that's at like Eagles games, not during a marathon, my friend.
I
oh my
don't know.
God, your mom is standing next to me,
it.
and she drinks the whole, I mean, she's just like, she puts the head back and she's like, and I was like, and then I took a sip, and then I looked at her, I was like, dude, you like actually like drank that whole thing. So I was like, oh crap. So next thing you know, I'm like having to finish like my bottle. I was like, oh my God, Lorri.
A quarter of a mile later.
Oh.
And I'm like, my legs are moving without my brain telling them to. I have no idea what is going on with my legs.
It was bad decision making.
I saw someone projectile vomiting around mile 11. I wonder if they did something similar to you guys. She like bent over, and I was like, oh no, that girl's gonna throw up. But then she stood up and like walked 2 more steps, and then bent over again and just projectile throwing up. I had to turn my head the other way and just run past her. I was like,
wow.
Oh. I was like, it's early. I was like, it's mile like 11.
That's a lot. That's a lot of race still left.
You have a lot to go. Good luck, girl.
So I guess in the past, like when we've run races, there are certain races that have a reputation of being a party race. Like the Flying Pig has a reputation. Route 66 has a reputation. Marathon du Marathon. They have reputations. They're an experiential race. I mean, you can do them for time. Absolutely.
And you could do them without drinking too.
And but there are people on the course out that are unofficially there, and there's a prolific amount of them where there is ample opportunity to partake along the course. Now, I would never have dubbed Philly as that, and I would.
It's becoming that though now.
But it is becoming that. But there is you have to be prepared. There is a long ass drought when you leave University City, because there is a fraternity row where there is another opportunity.
You're like there's no crowds.
There is nothing until mile 20. So you are going from about mile, let's call it 8, to about mile 8.
Well, I would call it to 18. 18 is when you get into Manayunk, and that's where the crowd starts. Yeah, that's when the crowd starts again.
Yeah, and you have another opportunity for a beverage if you want it.
Yeah, and this go around, usually the Conshohocken Brewing folks, they usually are handing out beers. They were handing out ciders this go around.
I know. I was so happy for her. I'm like, oh, Laura, they have ciders. You can finally participate.
I'm drinking again. I was like, shit. So then we did that, and then we hit your dad and Connor and Ella. So that was pretty funny.
Our beer bitches.
Yes, they were our official beer bitches. They did an outstanding job, and they were right at the mile 20 sign. So we did go and get a picture with the mile 20 marker for the Philly Marathon. So you chose Red Bull and vodka. I had a baby Prosecco. And people, I think, really appreciated the fact that we were just openly walking around, like, with our beverages, walking around. I mean, we got some hoots and hollers.
And some cheers.
Like a lot of cheers, a lot of high fives and stuff, as well. They were like, yeah, look at these, like, crazy ass people killing their livers. Yeah. So, and then we got a beverage on the way out as well from the Conshohocken Brewing people as well. So shout out to them.
Of course. I was actually wearing my mile 20 tank. And I got so many like, yeah, mile 20, because I took off my shirt right before mile 20. Like, mile 20 right there, mile 20 right there, and lots of mile 20 shout outs. And I'm like, you don't even know what this is. But I did like the call out. So it was very like, oh, that's me.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
We need to get some tanks that pop.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yes.
That's our next need for as a group.
I will work on that.
Yes. I did them the last time. I don't normally do our merch. Laura's our merch person.
Or like a long sleeve, something other.
Or both.
Yes.
We both.
Yes.
Probably both.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
No,
yeah.
I got you. I'll work on that over the holiday weekend. But yeah, no, I mean, after we got out of Manayunk, then the run back on Kelly Drive, it's just really long. So the one thing that we joke around about, Lorri and I, is that Kelly Drive has a lot of turns on it. And in the past, I have mistaken, like where that last turn is before you see the city.
Yeah, the city's obscured. When you're on Kelly Drive, you have the river. Well, when you're coming out of Manayunk, coming back towards the city, you have the river on your right, and on the left is a pretty significant ridge.
Yes.
That blocks your view of the city. So you do not see the city until the moment you see it.
Yeah, and it's like, and then like just mentally, you're like, great. I don't have that far to run, but I got to run up that big ass hill to get to the art museum, and then get to the finish. But yeah, like there were a lot of people that were walking. I mean, we were doing intervals. I mean, I struggled yesterday. We ended up hitting the Porta-Johns like quite a bit. How many? 5 times did we hit the Porta-Johns?
Including you were definitely like 4 before we even got to Manayunk.
So I will share because we're pretty transparent about stuff. So I being 54 years old, I just started hormone replacement therapy.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Yay.
Finally, got the green light to go and do that. But the downside of it is that it causes constipation when you first start doing this treatment, and so I've been kind of battling with that. But you know what? You know me. Anytime I have to go to the bathroom, all I have to do is hit a trailhead, and I'm like, gotta poop.
Feast or famine.
And so yep. About 2 weeks worth that I took care of during the Philly Marathon. So yeah, I think we hit 5 Porta-Johns yesterday. So the fact that we finished in 6:24 and we hit 5 Porta-Johns and we stopped 5 or 6 times for beverages.
Lots of times.
Yes. That wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, I was looking at mom's splits on Strava, and I was like 10 something for like your first couple miles. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it was like, Lorri, I really have to go.
You were business in the front,
yes.
Party in the back.
Yeah.
As we always are.
Yes.
We also had, and I was starting, it was the first time I actually kind of started feeling guilty about being joyful and playful on the back half of a race. There were so many people that were
just
like,
freaking miserable.
How are you happy right now?
Yeah, we were singing. Oh, when we stopped and we did the time warp twice. So that added to our time.
FOMO.
Yeah, you have to stop when time warp comes on your playlist. You have to stop and actually do the time warp. So
you got to jump to the left.
So we were definitely around a lot of miserable people, and we were just like,
there were a lot of just on their faces, there was a lot of like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, and we were singing Journey, although some people were singing with us, as we passed them and stuff. But yeah, I was really, really happy to get that one. Now, the one thing that was really funny when we came across the finish line is that the camp that we went to in France this past summer, we had an opportunity to go and sign up again for a different location in 2027. And the registration was opening up at 2:00. And literally,
yes,
we come across the finish line.
It's 2:00.
And we got our medals and we're on our phones, like in the finish chute, like doing the registration. The timing on that was absolutely insane. So, but we got our stuff done. The other thing that I absolutely love that the Philly Marathon still does is that you get the hot cup of chicken broth.
Yes.
And that is just absolutely like just wonderful, at the end of the race, having that like that nice salty, warm broth. And that, I don't know, it's just quintessential Philadelphia.
Yeah. I just feel like Philly is a class act with the marathons, and it is getting up there in the amount of attendance it has to be one of the bigger marathons in the country. Never ran Pittsburgh. I know that Pittsburgh has a pretty big following for their marathon too. Maybe that's something we should explore at some point, is the other side of the state, to see what they do. But
or not.
But as far as as far as if I had to choose as a 50-state journey,
Philly,
a marathon to do, and I know I'm extremely biased, it's our home race, I would do Philly.
You run by Independence Hall, and so many people didn't even notice it. When we took the selfie in front of it, you kept telling the runners, look to your right, because you run by so many like famous things in Philadelphia.
I think that's this is the paradigm you have when you're going for time, right? You're very focused on your pace and what you're doing, that you kind of forget the journey.
Yeah.
And it's two different philosophies, and I have no, everybody's on their own journey.
I have no regrets though, the way that we do it, because we've seen some really cool shit.
Yeah. And we pay attention, for us, it's the journey.
Yeah.
Not the destination.
Yeah. No.
I feel like that's why Philly was the perfect race to try though for me, because I'm from
Philly.
here.
Yes,
so
I agree.
I feel like if you are going for time,
But Maggie, think about this, right? So I know you're not registered for another race right now, but a 501 with all of the freaking hills that is Philly.
It's
so Rehoboth is super, super flat that we're doing in 2 weeks.
Do you want to know what I'm looking at?
Rehoboth's sold out.
Oh, no more spots.
There's respectfully no way in hell I'm doing one anytime soon. I'm so hurt.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
I am eyeing the Jim Thorpe one.
Okay.
In Jim Thorpe, it's all downhill.
Okay.
Like a gradual downhill the entire time. And I think I don't know what the name of the trail is, but I don't think it's very you're not driving by you're not running by landmarks. I think it's the same thing the whole time. So I think that would be a good
It's like a rails to trail thing.
Yeah, it's the Lehigh Valley Gorge Rail Trail.
There we go.
It's one of those
I've ridden
lovely,
my bike on that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great trail, and it's crushed, so your joints are going to be really happy.
Your
on that
quads
trail.
won't be happy with you, but
No.
but you can kill that in terms of time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thinking about volunteering.
Oh, I'd volunteer for that. I don't want to run another race in Philly.
You're away that weekend.
Oh,
or else I would be running it as well.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Just FYI.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Just in case we would be running it if you weren't. I think you're out of town that weekend.
Got it.
What is it? April 8th?
The 25th. Weekend.
Oh, that's
of April.
Yeah. I'm gone from my sister's 50th that day. So yeah. No, that's cool. So the swag. So y'all have 2 medals because you did and 2 shirts, right? So the shirts, same design on them, where it's kind of cool. It's got the Liberty Bell, and it's got all the different does it just say Philadelphia?
I think
on
it says
ours says Philadelphia Marathon 26.2.
It says
and
the
ours.
Rothman 8K all over it. It's very specific to the race.
That's nice.
Which is very nice.
And the 8K ones, it's like a burgundy kind of plum color.
I love this color.
Yeah.
I don't have anything this color, so it's definitely different. Same with the blue. I don't have anything that blue.
Yeah, this is like a light powder blue for the marathon shirts, which is nice.
The only thing I kind of wish is that it wasn't a V.
Yeah.
It's got a subtle V, not a deep V, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I do wish it was just a crew cut.
It's so funny because we were just talking about the V-necks last episode.
Yeah.
Can you tell Lorri is not a fan of the V-neck? I'm okay with this one. It's
pretty subtle.
Yeah, it's subtle. But the medals are absolutely just wonderful. Yeah.
It's funny, I had my 2023 one I was looking at, and the bell is so much bigger, so the is deeper.
Yes.
Whereas these are just
it every time I get a medal from the Philadelphia Marathon, it reminds me of It's a Wonderful Life, where like an angel gets its wings.
Yes.
And now, because y'all did the Independence Challenge where you ran the 8K and the marathon, you got actually an extra medal. And I have to give kudos to Dave, because Lorri and I got very distracted because we were doing our camp registration coming across the finish line. And she totally forgot to go and get her Independence Challenge medal. And Dave went back and got it for you.
Yeah, he's the bomb.
He
ran back. I mean, we were a quarter of a mile away from the finish.
He ran back.
He went back and got it for me.
And got it for you.
Because I was a little bit like,
you
good.
were like,
I'm good.
And I'm like, oh, you know that my friend, who is such a swag hoe, that she was giving up this like absolutely fabulous extra medal. You know that she had to be tired.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. So I do like that they're all different. I will say the full marathon and the Independence, like all of the challenge medals are the same. The challenge medals are just bigger. And I did see that the title was different. So I think the Freedom Challenge is when you do all three. So it was a different medal than the Independence Challenge. It just at the bottom had a red, white, and blue star.
Oh, nice.
That indicated each race.
Okay.
So ours just has a blue and red star. The blue one says 8K. The red one says 26.2. It's stunning. It says Independence Challenge, Marathon Weekend, and then it has like all of the, and same with the Marathon medal, they have all of the landmarks on it. So it has the Rocky statue, Independence Hall, National Constitution Center, Ben Franklin Bridge, Chinatown Arch, Love Statue, Zoo Statue.
I love it. It's got like all the landmarks.
Yeah, it has all of the.
I didn't even look at it yesterday when I got it. Honestly, I
can't read it. Might be the Mint, the United States Mint is on here. So yeah, it has.
They jammed a lot on there.
Yeah, it has like all of the notable things on the Marathon medal and the Independence Challenge medal. And what I do like is the 8K medal is different. It has Boathouse Row.
It's a different color too. It's silver.
Yes, it's silver, and it has different statues. I'm guessing it's more where you run.
I think it's pertaining to where you run and what you're seeing during your runs, which is super cool.
And the 8K ribbon is a little thinner too than the marathon one.
Yep. So I feel like I like how the medals are distinctly different and appropriate.
Because that's what we bitched about last week, right? With Jackson Hole, is that there was no differentiation in the shirts as well as the medals. Philly, mwah.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Philly does a great job.
Yep.
Every
Absolutely
time.
Fantastic.
Every time.
Oh, and for those joining on YouTube, Maggie is holding up the big medal. There we go. All right, so I mean, Lorri, I'm not even going to ask this because, like, you know,
we've already
run it again because we're already registered. Before we even ran the race, Philly went and put out the first 1,000 people can go and sign up for the marathon for 2026 at a much lower cost. So
although I felt like it was expensive.
It's still expensive, but
could I ask how much it was?
It was $140.
Yeah, and
instead of like $170, $180.
No, I feel like 2 years ago I paid $75 at the early registration, $85. It was below $100.
Oh,
so it's gone up. But
look at the medals that we're getting and stuff.
The medals are nice,
and the shirts.
And they do such a fabulous job securing our streets.
They totally do.
That's the one thing I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
Every cross street in the middle, you have 0.2 of a mile.
You, as a runner,
traffic.
You own that city like during the race because of how well they secure the streets. You do not share
traffic anywhere.
No.
There's no traffic on this course.
Nope, none whatsoever.
It's all about the runners.
Yeah.
So you know what? Any other big city, we spent more than that for Marine Corps. We spent more than that for Boston, New York. I mean, it's becoming more comparable in its pricing.
No, it definitely is. But so we're running it next year. So Maggie, would you run this one again?
Or recommend it?
I would probably say yes to both. I mean, it's so convenient. To do.
It's fun.
I would definitely recommend it. I do think it's a lot more hilly than I remember. Just trying to like actually run it at a solid pace, I was like, oh damn, there's a lot more hills than I recall. But yes, I would definitely recommend it. Backlash will probably run it again. I just need a break.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah,
all right, so we, again, if you haven't, come to Philly. It's just a fantastic race.
It is. Thank you guys for listening today. Now go make Mile 20 your bitch.
Peace out.